Cameras were outside a federal courthouse in Miami. A 16-year-old boy walked through them. He is charged with first-degree murder and aggravated sexual abuse. Prosecutors spent 2 hours arguing he is too dangerous to be free. They said he strangled his 18-year-old stepsister on a Caribbean cruise and hid her body under a bed. They told the judge there is no condition of release that can protect the public from someone who did this without warning, in a family setting, to someone he was being raised to treat as a sister. The judge listened. Then let him go home. She left dinner early with a stomachache. Her father found the body. This ruling happened yesterday. The trial is September. Between those 2 dates, Timothy Hudson is at his uncle's house in Hernando County, Florida, wearing a GPS monitor, going home every night. This episode covers everything: who Anna was, the cruise, the night, the evidence, and what prosecutors laid out inside that courtroom that was not enough to keep him behind bars. Subscribe. Let's go through it. Anna Kepner was 18 years old, Titusville, Florida, Temple Christian School, varsity cheerleader, gymnast, a student. Friends described her as pure energy, bubbly, funny, outgoing, the kind of person who changed the room when she walked into it. Her plan after graduation was the Navy. She wanted to become a K-9 officer. Her grandfather had served. She wanted to follow him. Her ex-boyfriend Joshua called her his first love. He said he would walk to her work just to see her for 5 minutes. Her father, Chris Kepner, described her to reporters after her death. His words, "Wonderful, beautiful, outgoing, class clown, but serious sometimes." Her school is making her parking spot into a permanent memorial, one that never chips or fades. That is how a small Christian school in Titusville decided to remember Anna Kepner, by making sure the place where she parked her car every morning stays hers. She was going on a cruise with her family in November 2025, a Western Caribbean trip on the Carnival Horizon. The blended family, all of them together, 1 week on the water before the next chapter of her life started. She never came back. November 2nd, 2025. The Carnival Horizon left Miami. Anna's father, Chris Kepner, had married Chantel Hudson, a blended family. Chris and Chantel in one cabin, grandparents 2 floors above, and 3 teenagers sharing a 3rd cabin directly across the hall from the parents. Anna, her younger brother, and her 16-year-old stepbrother, Timothy Hudson. There was a choice. When the arrangements were made, Anna was offered the option to stay with her grandparents instead. She turned it down. She was 18, on a Caribbean cruise. The grandparents' room was 2 floors away. She stayed in the cabin. Whether Anna felt safe in that room depends on who you ask. Her grandparents told ABC News the kids were 2 peas in a pot. Chantal would later say in court they were best friends, the 3 amigos. Someone who knew Anna more closely said something different. That account comes later. The ship made its stops. The family ate together. The Caribbean passed outside the portholes. November 6th was the last full day before the ship turned back toward Miami. That evening, the family sat down for dinner together. Anna left early. She had mouth pain from her braces, an upset stomach. She told her family and walked back to the cabin alone. Nothing about that was unusual. People leave dinner early on a cruise. You go to your room. You rest. At 8:14 p.m., Anna sent a Snapchat. That was the last message she ever sent. After 8:14, nothing. No movement in or out of cabin 8,343 on the ship's security cameras. No one came. No one left. Until 10:13 p.m. Timothy Hudson opened the cabin door, stepped into the hallway, looked left, looked right, and walked away. The younger brother came back to the cabin briefly. He told investigators he did not see Anna. Then he left. Timothy returned just after midnight. What happened between 8:14 p.m. and 10:13 p.m. in cabin 8,343 is what this case is about. Before we get into what the ship's cameras caught the next morning, if this level of coverage is what you want on every major case, subscribe to Crime Deepcut. The September trial, every development, we will be here. Every corridor on the Carnival Horizon has cameras. Prosecutors walked the judge through what those cameras recorded. 10:13 p.m. Cabin door opens. Timothy steps out, looks left, looks right, leaves. Just after midnight, when his younger brother tried to come back to sleep, Timothy blocked the doorway with his arm. Said he was changing. Told the boy to wait in the hallway. The boy noticed something from where he stood. Every light in the cabin was on. He waited. Timothy let him in. The boy went to sleep. He did not see Anna. The next morning, Timothy is on the ship's cameras again. He walks from one side of the ship to the other, a diagonal path across the deck. He stops at a trash can. He stands there for 22 seconds. Prosecutors told the judge what they found when they examined the ship's internet routing logs. Anna's phone was still connected to the ship's network, still pinging routers, still moving with the vessel as it sailed, until Timothy reached the trash can. When he walked away, Anna's phone stayed. It kept pinging the router closest to that trash can. Anna's phone was at the trash can. Without Anna, she left dinner early with a stomachache. Her father found the body. Timothy let his brother in after midnight. The lights were all on. The younger brother went to sleep. Anna's body was under the bed. Anna's father, Anna Kepner, was aboard that ship. He was the one who found her. He has said since that he cannot attend the September trial. He cannot go through that moment again. At her graduation 10 days ago, a reporter asked him about it. He gave one word for what it was. Hard. That was all he had. The younger brother who slept in that cabin is someone who has to live with that morning for the rest of his life. He did not know. He could not have known. The Carnival Horizon docked in Miami on November 8th. The FBI boarded. Timothy Hudson was taken to a mental health facility the same day. Anna's body went to the Miami-Dade medical examiner's office. Cause of death, mechanical asphyxia. Physical force applied to her neck that stopped her from breathing. Prosecutors told the judge the chokehold lasted 3 to 5 minutes. Her eardrum burst during the attack. Sit with that number for a moment. 3 to 5 minutes. Count to 60 once. Then count again. Then count again. That is how long it takes to end a life this way. Anna Kepner was 18 years old. She was on a Caribbean cruise with her family. She left dinner early because her stomach hurt. The September trial will be a jury trial in federal court. When it starts, Crime Deepcut covers it fully. Subscribe. Before the cruise, someone had already sounded the alarm. Anna's ex-boyfriend Joshua spoke at her memorial service. Then he spoke to Inside Edition. He described a FaceTime call. Late, around 3 a.m. He was on the phone with Anna. She was in bed. While they were on the call, the door opened. Timothy came into the room. He climbed on top of her. Joshua called out through the phone. Timothy heard him. He ran. Joshua heard the footsteps. After the call, Anna told Joshua what had been happening. She was scared. She started trying to sleep at friends' houses when she could, to avoid being home with her stepbrother. Joshua's words to Inside Edition, she was scared of him. He's infatuated with her. He's always wanted to be with her. Joshua said he told Anna's parents. He said they did not want to believe him. He reported what he saw to the FBI. The cruise happened 6 months later. Anna was given the choice of rooming with her grandparents. She chose the cabin. Whether she felt the situation had changed, whether she did not want to spend a Caribbean cruise 2 floors away from the fun, whether she was just an 18-year-old making an 18-year-old's decision, nobody will ever know. What is documented, a warning existed. It was seen. It was reported. And 6 months later, Anna was in that cabin. Not everyone describes the same household. Joshua's account is of someone who was scared of her stepbrother and avoided him. Chantel said in court the 3 teenagers were best friends, the 3 amigos. Anna's grandparents said 2 peas in a pot. These accounts cannot all be accurate. The jury in September will decide which picture the evidence supports. Crime Deepcut does not decide it for them. This case is federal because Anna died in international waters. The Carnival Horizon was in the Caribbean. No state has jurisdiction over what happened in cabin 80,343. Federal law does, and there is almost no precedent for this. A 16-year-old charged as an adult in federal court for murder on a cruise ship. Attorneys in the courtroom said they could find only one comparable case. It involved adults. February 2026, Timothy Hudson was charged as a juvenile. The case was sealed. March 10, 2026, a federal grand jury returned a superseding indictment. First-degree murder, aggravated sexual abuse, adult charges. April 2026, the case transferred to adult court. If convicted, life in prison. A plea deal, based on what prosecutors discussed in the courtroom, could mean somewhere between 24 and 30 years. He is 16 years old. The defense will likely argue that Timothy has an ADHD diagnosis and that he missed his nighttime insomnia medication, clonidine, on the night Anna died. His mother Chantal confirmed in court that she fell asleep before giving it to him. His family has confirmed he says he does not remember what happened. Former federal prosecutor Nemo Romani, commenting on the case for Law and Crime, said it plainly. Typically, someone like this would be deemed a danger to the community and they would be detained, no questions asked. But there is no case law, no precedent for a 16-year-old in this exact situation, and no facility in the Tampa area equipped to hold a juvenile facing adult federal murder charges. That combination is what kept him free. Yesterday morning, the James Lawrence King Federal Justice Building in Miami. Timothy Hudson arrived with his father. Cameras surrounded them. He kept his eyes forward. Inside, the prosecutor was the most emotional person in the room. She reminded the judge, U.S. Magistrate Judge Edwin Torres, of the charges. First-degree murder, aggravated sexual abuse. She read details from the case that had not been made public before. She told the judge this was carried out without warning, in a family environment, against someone Timothy was being raised to treat as a sister. She said he is living in a home with other minors right now, that he is a danger, that no conditions of release can account for someone who did what prosecutors say he did, without warning, without provocation, to someone asleep in the next bed. The defense said, he has followed every condition for months. He has no car, no money. He is 16. He is not a flight risk. The judge sided with the defense. For now. He said he wanted to find a facility near the family in case he decides to detain Hudson before trial. He left the final ruling open, but he said something else. If he were 20 years old, he would be detained. He is not 20, he is 16, so he walked out. A reporter from Fox 35 was waiting outside. She asked him, "Did you kill Anna on the cruise?" He said nothing. "Are you being wrongly accused?" His attorney stepped in. The car was right there. They got in. Timothy Hudson went home to Hernando County, Florida. GPS monitor on his ankle. September ahead of him. Anna's father, Chris Kepner, was not in the courtroom yesterday. He has said he cannot be in that room again. But he told WKMG what he thinks about the boy who prosecutors say killed his daughter walking free. "I think that if he was in custody, we would possibly get more out of this kid, considering that he's saying that he doesn't remember. With him being free and being able to do what he wants, he's put it in the back of his mind like there's no consequences for his actions." Anna Kepner's father has said he cannot be in that courtroom in September. He has already lived through the worst day. When the trial begins, Crime Deepcut covers everything. Subscribe. On May 17th, 10 days before yesterday's courtroom, Temple Christian School held graduation in Titusville. Anna Kepner's name was called. Her father, Chris Kepner, walked to the stage. The auditorium rose to its feet. He accepted her diploma through tears while the room gave her a standing ovation. His wife, Chantal, Timothy's mother, sat in the audience. They wore blue butterflies, Anna's favorite. Chantal built a senior table covered in Anna's photos with her friends from every year of school. Chris Kepner spoke to reporters afterward. He said one word about what it was like to stand on that stage for his daughter. Hard. She left dinner early with a stomachache. Her father found the body. 10 days before yesterday's ruling, he stood at a podium and accepted the diploma she never got to hold. And the boy prosecutors say is responsible went home. The trial is September 2026. Crime Deepcut will be there.